Hi, grammar students. This is a quick review about prepositions and their use in correct grammar writing. So in this sentence, we have a prepositional phrase. We have, Mother works at the Walmart in Durham. So we always look for prepositions. They tend to be the little short words like at, with, of, on, in. Those are words that start a phrase, and they generally end in an object, which is either a noun or a pronoun. So let's look at this and see if we can find it. Mother works at the Walmart in Durham. So we have two short phrases here. We have at the Walmart, and then in Durham. So there we go. You can see at the Walmart, preposition, noun, in Durham, in, and Durham. And two words is a minimum for a prepositional phrase. Then you want to ask yourself, is each phrase acting as either an adjective, which means it describes a noun, or is it acting like an adverb describing a verb? So in this case, we have works is in front of at the Walmart, and that tells you where Mother works. So this is likely an adverb. And then we have in Durham. Well, that follows Walmart, tells you about Walmart. Walmart's a noun, so this must be an adjective. So there you can see how each item, each prepositional phrase works in the sentence. Typically, when one prepositional phrase follows another, the second prepositional phrase actually describes a word in the first one, which will make it an adjective. So that's easy to identify most of the time. All right, let's look at these sentences. We'll find the phrases. I'll read them out loud, then we'll look at the phrases. I like to eat marshmallows browned over an open fire in the woods. In the morning, we will take a test on preposition. When it rains, we will take shelter under those trees beside the field. So here we can see the phrases over an open fire and then in the woods. I didn't mark to eat. So anytime you see the word to, you have to double check. If it's followed with a verb, then it's an infinitive phrase, not a prepositional phrase. In number 2, in the morning, starts the sentence, and then on prepositions. And then the last one we have under those trees and beside the field. When it rains, when is not a preposition, and this has a verb in it, and prepositional phrases do not have verbs. So, what kind of phrase or descriptor is this phrase, each phrase acting here? So we have over an open fire, and it's right behind browned and tells you where we're browning. So this is an adverb. And then in the woods tells you about fire. And so in that case, that's an adjective. Okay, then we have in the morning. Could be describing we, but if you think about it, it really talks about when we will take in the morning. So it's a time phrase, prepositional phrase acting like an adverb. Then on prepositions describes test, so this is an adjective. And then number 3, under those trees, tells you where the shelter is, so this is an adjective. And beside the field tells you about trees, so that's also an adjective. So let's look at these sentences and see if we can figure out the phrases here. Soldiers in Iraq go beyond the call of duty and act bravely in the face of danger. The storm will be near Durham in 20 minutes before the cold front comes through the area. So here we go. We can see the phrases in Iraq describes soldiers, so that's an adjective. Again, these are all prepositional phrases. Beyond the call of duty tells you where they go, so this is an adverb. Of duty goes with call. Call here is a noun, so this is an adjective. And then in the face, and that tells you about bravely. So that's going to be an adverb. Bravely is an adverb. In the face is adverb also. Of danger describes face, so this is an adjective. The storm will be near Durham, so we have near Durham. Tells you where the storm will be. So this one, we're not describing will be. Will be is just connecting storm to near Durham. This is an adjective. In 20 minutes tells you where it will be near Durham. So this is an adjective. Although some people, they say, well, that tells you time, but tells you about time in Durham. And then through the area describes comes, so that's acting as an adverb. Here's some other ones. Have you ever wondered about the consequences of no education or the possibility of life without a good job? Some of you will get a promotion or go to school at Durham Tech. I lost my gum under the desk next to the wall in the library across the street. Here are those phrases. About the consequences of no education, of life, and without a good job. Then of you, again, it can be two words, and the second word can be a pronoun. To school, this to is in front of a noun, so it acts as a prepositional phrase. At Durham Tech. Then under the desk, to the wall, although some books will tell you this is next to the wall, prepositional pair, so you can use those together. In the library and across the street. All right, one last practice set. I walked to class on Friday after my doctor's appointment. I saw her at the mall. The children play in the grass around the old tree. Before lunch, I arrived on time under the bridge across the river. And here we go. To class, after my doctor's appointment, at the mall, in the grass, around the old tree, before lunch, on time, under the bridge, across the river. And you may say, well, why do we spend all this time looking at these prepositional phrases? Well, in order to identify a prepositional phrase, if you're asked to do that, or in order to move it or make sure it's in the correct spot, you have to be able to identify what goes together in the prepositional phrase. So the common mistake is that phrases are misplaced. So you want to make sure that the prepositional phrase is next to the word that it describes, and that will make it much clearer. Otherwise, the reader may say, well, I'm not quite sure where that is. Maybe I said in the field and I put it in the wrong place, or in the morning might be in the wrong place. So these are misplaced modifiers, sometimes is what it's called. I call them misplaced phrases. Sometimes they're called dangling. But in any case, a prepositional phrase should be as close to the word it's describing as possible. So look at these. We hid during the storm in the closet. Covered with dust, he gave her a book. Near the shore, my glasses went missing where I lay. So when you find the phrases during the storm in this case, all right, that tells you where they hid or when they hid. So that works. But what about in the closet? Well, if you go to the word in front of it, it sounds like the storm was in the closet. It wasn't in the closet. We were in the closet. So maybe I need to move this phrase over here or in the front. Look at the next one. Covered with dust, he gave her a book. Our prepositional phrase is with dust. In this case, we're going to grab out the covered with dust together because it makes sense to go together. But in this case, you don't know who's covered with dust. Is it he? Probably it's the book. So this needs to be near the book. Near the shore, my glasses went missing where I lay. All right, so we have near the shore. And it's a little odd. It sounds like the glasses were out there by themselves possibly. So I would put near the shore near lay because likely it's more about lay. So here are the corrections. During the storm we hid in the closet. We gave her a book covered with dust. My glasses went missing where I lay near the shore. So one other concern that we have with prepositional phrases is when do we put commas with them? So likely it's only when they're at the beginning of the sentence. Sometimes we might do it in the middle, but most likely it's only when they're at the beginning. If they're placed properly, they don't need commas marked off in the middle or end of the sentence. During the storm, comma, we hid under a table. In this case, we also need to look at the object pronoun. The object pronoun is a special form of pronouns that we use only behind prepositions or when they're not doing the action. Between you and me, I love him. John gave the book to Jane and her. So that's the other concern about prepositional phrases is if we use objective pronouns. So let's look at these. In the morning I run. She knows what's good on between you and I. What's going on between you and I. During the race I fell into a bush. Are they sending him with John and they? So in the morning I needed to put a comma there. Between you and me. It doesn't matter where this is, whether between you and me is at the front of the sentence, in the middle of the sentence, or at the end. It's always going to be between you and me, not between you and I. And then during the race, comma. And lastly, John and them with John and them. And again, if you're not clear, take out the extra words and you go, oh, are they sending him with them? It wouldn't sound right to say with they. Thanks for watching this short review about prepositions and correct usage. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment below or contact me if you are one of my students through my Google text or email. Thanks for watching. Bye.